So guys, these are the merits of an Hadoop. Hadoop is a fast, scalable. So fast, why we know that it is distributedly processing the data which it is getting it, and due to fast data distribution over the cluster, it's able to process terabytes of data in a minutes, petabytes of data in hours. So this is the speed of Hadoop. And why it's doing it? Because it's distributedly doing that operation, right? The second one is the scalable, means just by adding few nodes to the cluster, we can scale the system. So due to which the performance, due to which the speed of the system would be increased a lot. And the third is the cost effective, as we know now that it's run on commodity hardware. So due to commodity hardware, the overall cost of the system would be cheap. And the last point is the resilient to failure, means Hadoop has a property that which it can replicate data over the network. So what do you mean by replications, right? That we will discuss during the operation of MapReduce. So this term is something related to MapReduce. Okay, so here we are saying that possibility of the losing data on HDFS on Hadoop will always remain low because it has some replication factor is there. So I'll explain those concepts during our in our MapReduce operation, because this term is something related to MapReduce operation. So you can just understand it that okay, we have this feature that failure of a node won't affect the performance of my system. Fine. So that is a resilient to failure. Let's move ahead. Introduction to of HDFS means it's a first component of a Hadoop. That means Hadoop is a we know now that HDFS is a distributed file system run on a commodity hardware. It's a high fault tolerant. Okay, data is distributed, scalable, most reliable data storage, store data in gigabytes or terabytes, divides the file into the blocks, and the default size of block is 64 MB. Now a new terms encountering is we hits in our mind what is blocks, right? So this block is basically associated with our data. I mean how data is stored. It is stored in terms of blocks. It has some chunks of blocks. Okay, and the default size of that block is a 64 MB. And store multiple copies of data on different blocks. Okay, so we will cover this meaning of these two statement when we'll see our MapReduce operation. Okay, let's move ahead. Guys, this is a data storage mechanism in HDFS. So all your concepts, all the points which we have said it earlier, so that points will be cleared here. So guys, we know that we have a master, we have several nodes which constitute as slaves. So from the master we will submit a file. The size of the file is in the TB, that's a terabytes. The master will create the data about data, that is a meta, and it will store that meta inside master. After that it will create a block. So guys, see, b1 is a block which has created, and it's stored inside node 1, node 5 and node 6 randomly. It is decided by the master. And after that, see, you can see why we are creating the 3 copies of b1. So this is a replication factor, and it's a configurable. You can do the changes from your config files. We will see where this config file exists during our practical session. This b1 block, so the intent for creating the duplication of b1 block in different nodes is that if somehow this node's down, then still my data is available. Where the data is there in node 5 and node 6, and this master has that information. Where my data exists. Okay, so let's suppose another block, B2 blocks, it will be randomly stored somewhere in on a slave node. So master will decide it, and now B2 blocks of that file, input data file, has been stored in on node 5, node 5, and this n-2 node and this nth node. And but master has all the information where these blocks are stored. Fine. Now again, if let's suppose this nodes down due to any reason is failed, don't worry about it, data is still available. Why? The B2 block, what happened, just a minute here. Okay, this B2 block is still there. Where? It exists in n-2 node. It exists on node 6, node 5. Fine. And master has all this complete information where my blocks exist. Okay, so now we know that multiple duplication of that block is a replication factor, and by default 3 copies were created. So we have already seen that 3 copies b1 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 was created. Okay, and last point is master has that metadata. Okay, so let's proceed ahead.